Just want to give a quick shout out to LBRY because they're turning 4 years old today, and I've just recently started using the platform. It's not perfect, but it is an excellent alternative. I think just the fact that they've come so far in the past 4 years, that they survived that bear market and continued to develop from a very bare bones platform to where they are now, indicates to me that it's very promising. And if you're like me and have no interest whatsoever in continuing to put money in the pockets of YouTube, who is censoring people at an ever increasing rate, then just put LBRY.TV on your radar. Start playing around with it. Here you'll see that, for instance, I've got Corbett Report is on there, Love James, John Stossel. I've got Altcoin Buzz and a handful of other crypto-related channels that I've found. LBRY, this guy has been putting on. I'm not even sure if this is actually his channel. Let me see real quick. It doesn't actually say it's the official one. If it does, I don't see it. Anyway, I'm going to follow it because he's been doing a lot of good work lately. So it's been coming up in my feed. I think originally it was other people uploading his content. Anyway, I don't want to get out of control here, but here's the bottom line. If you sign up with the link that I'm going to include in this YouTube video in the description, you should get some LBC, which you can tip to people like James Corbett and others if you want to. And you can start poking around and looking for channels that you like. And really, even if you just stop by here once or twice a week, let alone once or twice a day, and load just LBRY TV and see what it's recommending after you've started following people and you start spending a little bit of time here. Even if it's only 5%. 5% of all of the YouTube traffic, if it started to come over to this platform, would be a really big deal and would provide the impetus for it to continue growing. It's already growing at a really fast rate. You'll see I'm going to play the 4-year birthday message after I'm done yakking here. So check it out. Give it a little bit of time and energy. If you're a content creator, then by all means, you should back up your content on LBRY. They'll actually pay you to use their YouTube sync feature, which essentially means if YouTube decides to wipe out your channel, it won't matter because all of it will be mirrored over here. I mean, it won't be great, but at least all of your content will be mirrored over here on LBRY. And if you start gradually sending people over to LBRY after you use that mirror feature, which you get paid to do, you get more information at that. I'll put the link in the description down there for that as well. Automatically brings it over, and depending on how many subscribers you have, they give you LBC for it. If you do that, get your stuff put over here on this platform, you can start kind of inching people over to LBRY. Why would we want to willingly support YouTube when they're egregiously censoring anything that does not fit the desired narrative? COVID-19 is a perfect example. If you want some alternative stuff on COVID-19, or if you're a YouTube creator that wants to create some alternative information on COVID-19, you can create it on YouTube, upload it to YouTube, and then when it gets censored, at least it will still exist over on LBRY.TV. That's it for now.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you.
LBRY turns 4. The LBRY blockchain is 4 years old today. And so I figured, with so many people just discovering LBRY, what better day than today to talk about how we got here. When we launched the LBRY network, there was no user interface. You could only interact with it via the command line. There was no search, no trending. There wasn't even signed identities or channels. Lots of things that we take for granted as part of our experience weren't there in that first version. But the core was, the essence was, the idea that we could make experiences like Amazon and YouTube possible without needing to rely on a single company that ends up being a point of control and exploitation. That was possible from day one. It was raw. It was raw. There's a lot of work to be done, right? But there was that moment that showed that it was possible. And there was a lot of excitement. We had a lot of interest from the developer community, and we even had our first taste of getting mass press attention when we rescued 20,000 college lectures.
Nobody gets to see the videos. Government equality police doing their work. But fortunately, the videos will survive thanks to the internet at LBRY.
But the truth is, despite that attention, LBRY wasn't ready. We had some people who were really enthusiastic and were regular users all the way back then, and I love you guys, and anyone with us here today that's seeing this, please say hi and shout out and say you were an OG if you were with us in that first year. And we kind of entered what is one of the weirder periods of the company, because there was this big crypto boom. I would call it a mania, where there was all this excitement about this technology that people didn't really realize was not that close to disrupting the status quo. I mean, LBRY in middle of 2017 and through 2018, which is what I would call this boom era, was, well, it maybe wasn't raw anymore, but it was certainly undercooked. We were adding more and more of what we thought were really necessary things to get people to really fall in love with it. We made the data network way faster and work way smoother, and we added channels, and we added better search, and all this other stuff that needed to be there as part of the experience. But people wanted, people expected it all kind of right away, right? They kind of thought, oh, you just type in the blockchain and then you get the same thing. But the way that all this stuff works, it's so different underneath. Things that can take a couple of days in normal land might take 6 months in blockchain land, because it's either more complicated or because there's not a map and you don't know exactly what to do. We continued to improve the product, and we launched some of the most important things for the company's ultimate growth, like the YouTube program, which has been very successful for us in terms of bringing creators in and quality content in. And I would describe this sort of manic period as one of refinement. So we took the raw thing, and we started to get it into the shape that it really needed to be for people to really like it. That brings us to what you might call the modern era of LBRY, which is this push to make it as accessible as possible. Entering 2019, our top goal was to make LBRY available on the web, which went into an alpha test in the spring and launched publicly at the end of the year. And throughout 2019, even in the earlier versions of the web, we saw more and more attention, both from users and from creators. We had creators making viral content.
It's so disconnected with the community and its creators.
Yeah, it just feels like YouTube don't want to comment on the issue. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to even acknowledge it.
YouTube just seems like they're not even trying.
Brought in surges of YouTubers who were waking up to the abuses and problems with being under the thumb of big tech. And as we added more and more user-friendly features, like seamlessly being able to use it across devices and notifications and other things, we've only seen more and more people come in. So this seems like a good time to say thank you, because it wouldn't be happening without you. And in fact, I want to give you a 4th birthday present. So if you're one of the first 4,000 people to enter this, you can use the code along the bottom of the screen as a little birthday gift from us to you. But regardless, I want to thank everyone who's talking about LBRY, who's using LBRY, who's sharing LBRY. This is how the growth happens. It happens because you tell a friend about it, you tell a creator about it, you're a creator yourself and you tell your audience about it. This is how we will take back control. We will do it one person at a time, unless you're a creator, in which case maybe you can do it thousands of people at a time. But either way, it's from us choosing to spread the message that we don't have to be trapped in these places. And so if you're someone out there doing that, thank you so much for doing that. And even if you're not, thank you for watching this video and being part of LBRY. Cheers.